Hey guys, and welcome to day 7 of my 7-day DIY Fall in Love series. Guys, today's DIY is going to be a collaboration video. I am collaborating with my girl Jamie Thomas, here on YouTube. She is my sister from another mister. And if you don't know who she is, girl, where have you been? Where have you been? She has an awesome lifestyle channel where she does DIYs, recipes, and cooking. She does awesome home tours. She has a beautiful home. And I'm sure once you check out her video and her channel, you will fall in love with her just as much as I have. So I will be linking it below. But today's DIY is going to be an owl, and this is just some of the items that you'll need. You'll need 2 forks and a spoon, 2 mason jar lids, 2 baby food lids, 2 bottle caps, your handy dandy glue gun, a wood plank, and I also have some fall foliage, which is optional. You can or you don't have to have that, okay? And now here, guys, I am just trying to line that spoon up so that it is centered in the middle of that wood plank, okay? Now, the wood plank itself is not an even circle all the way around, and that's completely okay. But I did want to center the spoon as best I could. So I'm just adding some hot glue to that, and I am just sticking it right there in the middle of that wood plank. Now, guys, the idea from this DIY I cannot take credit for. I need to shout out my girl Jessica. Hey, Jessica girl, who sent me this picture, and I was thinking to myself, oh my gosh, I have to do it on my channel because I thought it was the cutest thing ever. And it's not very expensive. The utensils I already had at my home already. The wood plank was probably the most expensive thing that I bought, and it was only about $7 or $8 on Amazon. So this project is definitely under $10. You guys remember those fall mason jars that I did? Well, these are the lids that I did not use, and I'm so happy that I saved them and put them off to the side because I knew I could repurpose them for a later project. And here I just laid them down exactly where I wanted them to be. And now I'm just applying some hot glue to that as well. Now this lid got smoking hot from that hot glue as I was pressing it in. So please be careful when you do this step because those lids were very hot. And I'm just pressing them in just to make sure that it is a nice, tight, and secure fit onto that wood plank. And I'm just going to do the exact same thing for the other one. This project is so very simple. If you are not using hot glue, you can probably have your small children do it as well. But I think with the hot glue, you definitely want to be careful if you are working with small children. But for such a simple project, it turned out, I thought it turned out so great, and hopefully you'll think the same. Okay. And now what I'm going to do is I am going to grab the baby food jars. I'm going to grab those. And no, I don't have any small babies in the house. These were 50 cents at Walmart. And I'm just going to put those once again where I want them. Don't be afraid to lay them down, lay them out exactly the way you want it. You know, what do they say? Measure twice and cut them once. This kind of goes back to that theory. You want to lay it down exactly where you want it, so then you're not trying to rip it up and start all over again, because that hot glue, once it is on, it is on. And I am just taking those lids and I am gluing them to the mason jar lids. And I think you guys will kind of start seeing it come together. It may be a little hard to see now, but I promise you it will start coming together. So I'm just going to put those there. And again, just giving it a little pressure just to make sure that it's nice and secure. Okay. Next, I'm going to grab the bottle caps. And guys, these are just regular bottle caps that you will find in the old school Coca-Cola bottles or wine coolers or, what have you. And I'm going to take those and I am going to glue those onto the baby food jar or lids. And I'm sure most of you guys can see that these are going to be his eyes. And I love how three-dimensional they are. I love how it's almost 3D, how the eyes are coming out. I absolutely love that. And I'm just doing the exact same thing to the other side of the baby food jars. And guys, this was such a fun project to do. My kids really got a kick out of it. My husband thought it was so different, and so did I. Because you guys already know that, I was committed to doing, I wanted to do unique projects. Something that you can look at and be inspired and say, you know what, I can totally do that. And you can. If I can do it, anybody can do it. And here I'm just lining up the forks at the very bottom of that wood plank because these are going to be the feet of my owl. So again, I'm just lining it up, making sure it's exactly where I want it, that they're not too close, not too far apart, just exactly where I want them. And then I'm just going to add some glue to those. And trust me, they want it to slip and slide and all of that good stuff. I just again tried to stick with it, tried not to lose anything, because it can be a bit more difficult when you're dealing with a slippery surface. And the wood plank, it's smooth. There aren't any. I didn't get any splinters or anything like that. So I definitely had to hold on to everything because it did have a tendency to slip off. So now I'm just going to do the exact same thing for that other fork. I'm just going to adhere it right next to the first one. Not too close, but they are feet, so you get the gist of it. And just take your time. You don't have to rush. Honestly, this project is a matter of looking at it, finding out where you want it to be, and gluing it down. It's just as simple as that. Nothing outrageous or crazy. It's so simple. And now I'm just taking all those branches that I grabbed from my backyard. And guys, I just literally just grouped them together and I started to put the hot glue on there because although they were 3 separate branches, I wanted to glue them all together just because I wanted to look like one branch that he was kind of sitting on. So I literally just grabbed them in my hand and wherever they grouped together, I just added some glue to that. I wanted it to be very authentic and as realistic looking as possible, if that makes sense. So I didn't want to do too much, let me place this one exactly like this or exactly like that. I just wanted it to be authentic. I wanted it to be whimsical and as realistic as it could be. So I'm just adding more glue to that because I want to make sure I don't lose any branches. If you have small children, I really think they will get a kick out of this. But you know what? Whether your kids are 1 or 99, it doesn't matter. I think anybody will get a kick out of this little project because it's so different. And just adding more glue. I'm just adding more glue because I don't want them to come apart. Okay? And just pressing and pressing, gluing and pressing. That's really all that I'm doing in this step right here. And I did wash off my branches after I brought them in. That would be something good for you to do because it will definitely help that glue to stick onto those branches a little better. So you want to wash them and allow them to air dry. Okay, so this is what he's looking like so far. I think he's so cute, and I hope you guys think he's cute too because I think he is. And so I was looking at him and I was like, okay, what can I add to him that won't overdo it, but just add just a splash of color because you guys already know I love the fall colors. I am not afraid to use them, to decorate with them, to do DIYs with them. So I said, okay, let's add just a few leaves to him because I didn't want to cover his branch all the way. I just wanted it to be, just a splash of color. And I'm literally laying the leaves down, guys, just at random. How I think they would fall from a tree onto his branch. I Once again, I didn't want it to be too perfect because that's just not realistic. So I just wanted to kind of lay it there and just see how I like it. And I did use two types of leaves. I used the larger leaves that I got from Hobby Lobby. They were $4.99 and I got them for 40% off. And then I also used some smaller leaves that I got from the Dollar Tree. And here is the final product. Oh my gosh, do you guys love him? I love him so much. I think he is absolutely adorable. I think the leaves gave him just enough color, but to not overdo it. And I love it. I absolutely do. And I hope you guys do too. Guys, please go and check out my friend, my sister Jamie's channel and her DIY. It is linked below in my comment section. I promise you, you guys will not be disappointed. And thank you so much, Jamie, for doing this collaboration with me. And thank you guys all so much for tuning in all week. You have really encouraged me, and I hope I did the same for you. Thanks, guys. Bye.